Welcome, HFA community, to our first podcast. Today we'll be discussing a variety of topics for you fine folks. First, I'll hand it off to my colleague, Panda Bear. We're going to talk about the projected draft order. Would you like to go ahead and tell everyone listening about that?
So I see the projected draft order as Yetis, Chickenators, Carnage, then the Reapers. The reason I put it this way is because the Yetis only have 2 players currently on the roster, with one sub/head coach, and I am Littleboat. The reason I put the Chickenators, even though they already have 4 players, they are sufficiently worse at the game than the other teams. I'm not saying that they will do bad this season. I'm just saying they need to work on it and have more practice from the one preseason game we saw from them. And then I put the Carnage right before the Reapers is because they are a set team. They are ready to compete this season. And the Reapers have already had a stacked lineup that is almost guaranteed to make a deep playoff run into this season's playoffs. I'm gonna hand it over to my co-host, I am Littleboat, for the power rankings of our current teams.
Alright, so obviously you can see number one, it's a dead set. It's the Reapers. You know, they got a MVP. I think they have at least 2 MVP candidates on that roster and an Opoi candidate in Baconator.
Who would
That's
be
it,
those
though.
two people?
That's it.
MVP.
Jake H107 to my left and Dilo6 to my right. Dilo6, Jake H107. And I think they have an Opoi candidate in Baconator because he's great. He's great. You have to worry about all 3 of them. You really cannot leave any one of them open. Number 2, I'd have to right now put the Carnage as number 2 just because they do have their lineup set. They have a lot of good players. They have Budrow, who I'll talk about later. They got Biscuits and they got Raccoon. Raccoon, you really got to worry about him at the quarterback position. I don't think you can. I don't think there's another quarterback as good as him other than Dylan in this league at the current moment. Especially coming in, we got to see some more. We'll see in the regular season, but that's definitely for sure. Then number 3, I got the Yetis. Really, the only reason they aren't higher is because of their lack of roster. But Panda Bear over here to my far right, very good quarterback. Just started playing quarterback. Was a natural wide receiver before the preseason started, but shifted over there during the preseason. And then number 4, I got the Chickenators, and that's just because of age and lack of playing time. But I think as the season goes on, they'll definitely gain the playing time. I think they'll get up there. We'll see what comes from them. All right, what about y'all?
Just to add on, the Carnage, they have Raccoon, who I think might be one of the best quarterbacks coming into the league. But they also have Talking Biscuits, who in scrimmages I've worked with him. He's a natural quarterback, and he has good accuracy, a good IQ, and I think he's going to be someone to watch out for this season.
All right, so now we got MVP picks. We're gonna start left to right. Jake H, what's your take on the MVP picks this season?
Project for MVP picks. Number 1, I gotta go with my quarterback, my personal quarterback over here to my right, Dilo6. He's just an all-natural weapon. He can go out of position, play wide receiver. He can play anything you would like him to. He'll fit in with any system, no doubt. Number 2, I have iNinja Future. A talented wide receiver, even though his top route is a comeback route, he can still gain many yards off that route. He's dangerous. And number 3, believe me or not, Fictional Ear 8. When he runs those routes, believe it or not, I've seen him catch bombs. All he needs is a competent quarterback, and it's over.
All right, now my number 1 might surprise you, but I'm gonna have to go with Budrow because look, at the end of the day, versatility in this league is the key to winning, and there is no one more versatile than Budrow. Right? He can play a quarterback, he can play the wide receiver, he can play the run. You have to fear him on anything. If you press him up, he'll beat you on the pass. If you don't press him up, he'll beat you on the run. All right, you got to watch him. Number 2, I think you got to go with Jake H107 over here. He's a versatile wide receiver. He beats people long, he beats people short, he beats people long, he beats people over the middle. He beats him everywhere. You got to watch out for him. You got to double him. If you don't double him, he's going to beat you every time. It's a guarantee. All right, and number 3, dark horse, I got to say, it's Minute Storm of the Chickenators. I think he's a great receiver. He's gotten a lot of looks this season, preseason. All of them going for at least 10, I believe 5+ yards on each one. I have to look at that, but I think with a good quarterback, him and Fictional Ear might be the Mike Evans and Chris Godwin of the HFA. You never know. All right, Dylan, what about you?
All right, I'd have to go with I have two different receivers than you do, but for my first pick, I'm got to go with myself, Dilo 6. I can play
That's biased.
quarterback, and
No. Go ahead. Take that out. That's biased. Nope.
it's biased, but I think
It's
it's true.
horribly
That's
biased.
just my
Go
opinion.
ahead. No. Repick it. Repick it.
Nope.
Can't pick yourself
Nope.
here.
Dilo's
No.
Yeah,
No. Can't pick
Dilo
yourself. No. Can't
dedicated.
pick yourself. Pick
He's
somebody
got a
else now.
playbook,
Come on.
and the Reapers are gonna win.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
why he's
listen
my
to me.
number one pick. I think he
All
can
right.
put
So
up
his
stats.
actual number one pick, guys. His actual number one pick is.
My number one pick is Dilo, but then after
No,
that,
his
I'd have to
actual
say
number one
iNinja
pick.
Future because
His actual number one is I Ninja Future.
no, that's my number
Yeah.
two pick. But Ninja
No,
Future
it's your
is a
number
really
one.
good player. He's a natural receiver, and anytime he has the ball in his hands, he can make a lot of extra yards happen. He's very great after the catch. He's good on screens. He can even be somewhat effective at the quarterback position when he's not throwing interceptions. So I think Ninja's pretty good, and I think he's my number two pick. Number third would have to be my receiver, JKH107. I think we're going to have a very productive season, and he can catch almost anything I throw his way. So I think we're going to have a really good season. So those are my three picks for MVP.
All right. So just ignore Dylan with the bias here. All right, Panda. What are you thinking?
I would have to say my number one MVP voter winner this year would have to be iNinja Future. Because
course.
even though the Reddies only have two players, he is competent in both cornerback, wide receiver, and quarterback. He will
course.
fight for yards after he with the comeback route, catches it, and fights for yards to gain 30, 40, 50 more yards after the catch.
Oh yeah.
And he's
Great route.
accurate. If he has more time to develop his routes and plays as quarterback, I see him seeing the ball where it needs to go to the open receiver to get big yards gain. And then for the cornerback position, he's a ball-hawking cornerback that stays on his man, and he will always be there, and he will always be a threat for that cornerback to watch out for that wide receiver.
Sure.
For my number two, I'm going to have to go with Dilo 6. He's a very versatile and threatening tool on the Reapers offense and defense. Like iNinja Future, he is a ball-hawking cornerback that plays on his man constantly. He is very threatening to the quarterback because he can also blitz. And then you have him on the offensive side where he throws dimes after dimes and season after season. He's continually throwing the ball where it needs to be for his wide receivers to catch it. And then for the wide receiver, he is almost breaking off his man instantly to get the quick ball and taking the ball 30, 40, 50 more yards. And for my number fourth pick, I'm going to have to go with Budrow. Or number third pick, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to go with Budrow. Because he is a great wide receiver. And like my co-host, I Am Little Boat, said, he can, if you press him, he will burn you on the run. And if you don't press him, he'll beat you on the
Switch those around. Switch those around. That's
Yeah.
all right. He's trying to say if you press him, he's going to beat you on the catch. If you don't, he's going to beat you on the run. Very versatile player. All right, now for dates, my boys. This Friday, only 2 days from now, we're going to have the first official HFA draft. Anybody is welcome to join. Message I Am Little Boat or Dilo Space 6 on Xbox. We're always looking for more players. You can always join after the season starts. But the official draft for new rookies is Friday. So who do you guys think is, let's do a little mini projection. Who do you guys think is going to be taken by who? Dylan, with the number one pick by the Yetis, who do you think they're going to take here?
Honestly, I think Cooker Corgi could be a likely pick. He's a dark horse. You know, we don't know too much about him, but we know that he can catch the ball. He has catching skills, and he's adept at that position. So I could see them taking him.
I could
I
too.
think he'd be a good fit.
All right, number two, we got the Chickenators. Who do you think they're going to pick? Anybody on that board you see them taking?
I think
see
if
them-
yeah.
Anybody can talk.
Go ahead.
it's fine, it's open.
I see them picking up Slip for only having the second pick and being one of the better players in that draft. Only
I don't know. You
because
think
they
the
have the
age?
second.
You think the age difference might clash there, though? You think there might be a little bit of a culture shift?
Well,
if
if the
they take them?
Chickenators can be more mature coming into the HFA, I see them being a competent team if they pick up Slip. they will-
Sure. I think anybody that picks up Slip Cape is going to go from the depths to an instant contender just with how smart he is on the ball. Definitely, he is also definitely probably my fourth MVP pick if we want a little
Same
bit more
here.
depth. Maybe even number 3 if you really want to look at it. Depending on what team he goes to, that's the only reason he's not up there on most of our boards. But now number 3, we got the Carnage coming in. Who do you think they're taking here? Anybody? All right, we're we're just gonna put those. We're just gonna put those two because we don't have the full list out. But we're gonna put probably. I believe two of Slip's roommates are joining the draft, so that's probably who's gonna be taken at those number 3 and number 4, or maybe even I'm so
Shift face. Yeah, shift face.
He might. He might. You never know. We'll
Which
see.
he has
all to
chemistry
come.
with the racing people, and most of the
Yep,
racing
that would be
people
the
are on Team
Carnage.
Carnage.
Yep.
So I could see them
so-
taking him.
So I believe that's about it for today's podcast, everybody. It's a good time. Come join us in the HFA community on Twitch and the HFA Instagram, which is
Halo_football_association.
Yep, and that's it. So, if you enjoy Halo 5 and you enjoy football, come on, give us a message. We'll see you on the flip, boys. Peace.
See ya.